Picture this, a scrawny Chinese kid stands in front of a Hollywood casting director. They tell him his accent is too thick, his eyes are too Asian, he'll never be a leading man in America. That kid was Bruce Lee, and he didn't just prove them wrong, he shattered every barrier they put in front of him and became a global icon who changed cinema, martial arts, and millions of lives forever. This is the story of how a 135-pound philosopher warrior became the most influential martial artist in history. But more than that, it's a story about what happens when you refuse to accept the limits others place on you. Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco in 1940, but grew up in Hong Kong during a time of chaos and street violence. As a skinny teenager, he was constantly getting into fights. His mother, desperate to keep him safe, sent him to learn Wing Chun Kung Fu under the legendary Master Ip Man. But Bruce didn't just learn to fight, he became obsessed. He trained with an intensity that bordered on madness. While other students practiced their forms once or twice, Bruce would repeat the same movement hundreds of times. He'd punch a Makiwara board until his knuckles bled, then wake up the next morning and do it again. And here's where his story gets interesting. At 18, Bruce returned to America with $100 in his pocket and a dream that everyone told him was impossible. He started teaching martial arts while working as a dishwasher and waiter. But Bruce wasn't teaching traditional kung fu. He was already questioning everything, breaking the rules, mixing styles together. This got him in trouble. In 1964, a group of Chinese martial artists challenged him to a fight. They said if he lost, he'd have to stop teaching non-Chinese students. Bruce accepted. He won the fight in 3 minutes, but something bothered him about that victory. He was exhausted afterward, gasping for air. He realized that traditional martial arts, even the style he loved, had limitations. So Bruce did something revolutionary. He threw out the rulebook. He created Jeet Kune Do, the way of the intercepting fist. His philosophy was simple but radical: absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, add what is specifically your own. He studied boxing, fencing, wrestling, philosophy, anything that made him better. He became the first mixed martial artist decades before MMA existed, but Bruce's real fight wasn't in the ring. It was in Hollywood. He developed the concept for a TV series called The Warrior, a kung fu western featuring a Chinese martial artist as the hero. The studio loved it. Then they gave the lead role to a white actor and created Kung Fu starring David Carradine. Bruce was devastated, but he didn't quit. He went back to Hong Kong and made The Big Boss in 1971. The film shattered box office records. Then came Fist of Fury, where Bruce delivered one of cinema's most powerful moments. He kicks down a sign that says "No dogs and Chinese allowed" for millions of Asians facing discrimination worldwide. This wasn't just a movie scene. It was a statement of dignity. He made Way of the Dragon, where he fought Chuck Norris in the Roman Colosseum. Finally, Hollywood came calling with Enter the Dragon, but Bruce Lee's impact went far beyond his fists. He was a philosopher who happened to fight. He filled notebooks with thoughts about life, fear, and human potential. He said, "Be like water, my friend," teaching us to be formless, adaptable, flowing around obstacles rather than breaking against them. He told us, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." This was about mastery, focus, and the power of dedicated practice. He challenged us: if you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. Bruce Lee trained 6 days a week, multiple sessions per day. He studied philosophy, read voraciously, wrote poetry. He was constantly evolving, constantly pushing past what he thought was possible. Tragically, Bruce Lee died in 1973 at just 32 years old, 6 days before Enter the Dragon premiered. The world lost him at the peak of his powers. But his death didn't diminish his legend, it immortalized it. Here's what Bruce Lee's life teaches us: when the world tells you that you can't, that you're not enough, that you don't fit their mold, you have two choices. You can accept their limitations, or you can do what Bruce did, work harder than everyone else, believe in yourself when no one else does, and forge your own path. Bruce Lee wasn't the biggest or the strongest. He was 5 feet 7 inches and 135 pounds. But he had something that size couldn't measure, an unshakable belief in his potential and a work ethic that turned that belief into reality. He faced racism, rejection, and every obstacle Hollywood could throw at him. And he became a legend anyway. So whatever mountain you're facing right now, whatever dream people say is impossible, remember the kid who was told he'd never be a leading man. Remember the martial artist who refused to be limited by tradition. Remember the philosopher who became a dragon. Be water, my friend. Flow around your obstacles, adapt, evolve, and never ever accept the limits others try to place on you. That's the legacy of Bruce Lee. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about people who refuse to be ordinary. Drop a comment and tell me, what's one limit you're ready to break through? Until next time, keep pushing your limits.